she creep, she creepin'.
In a world where fame burns brighter than reason, few have flown closer to the fire than Travis Scott. A kid from Houston with a mind full of noise, he didn't just make music, he built worlds. Every beat felt like a riot, every concert like a storm. Fans didn't just watch him perform, they surrendered to his chaos. But with every storm comes destruction. From chart-topping hits to heartbreaking headlines, Travis's rise was as explosive as his fall. He redefined hip-hop, broke boundaries between rap, rock, and psychedelia. And then, one tragic night, the noise stopped. How does a visionary go from being the sound of a generation to the face of controversy? This is the story of Travis Scott, the dreamer, the rule breaker, and the storm that shook the music world forever. Travis Scott was born Jacques Barman Webster II in Houston, Texas, a city that pulsed with rhythm, soul, and struggle. His grandfather was a jazz composer, his father a soul musician. Music ran through his blood, but the world outside their home told a different story. In the rough neighborhood of South Park, gunshots echoed louder than melodies. The young Jacques spent his early years surrounded by violence, poverty, and the raw noise of survival. To escape it, he found refuge in sound, tinkering with keyboards, creating beats, and dreaming of something bigger. When his family moved to Missouri City, things got quieter, but his obsession only grew louder. He built makeshift studios in his bedroom, layering tracks until dawn. His parents wanted him to focus on school, but he wanted to create worlds. At 17, he enrolled at the University of Texas, but lectures couldn't compete with the call of music. Within a year, he dropped out. Not out of rebellion, but out of belief. He was chasing something no one else could hear yet. The chaos that once surrounded him was now becoming his instrument. When Travis left college, he had nothing but a laptop, a dream, and a sound no one understood yet. He packed his bags, moved to Los Angeles, and almost immediately, everything fell apart. His friends cut contact. His producers vanished. At one point, he was sleeping in his car, making beats on borrowed speakers, living off faith and ambition. But failure didn't silence him. It fueled him. His early tracks caught the ear of rapper T.I., who invited him to the studio after hearing his raw, otherworldly sound. That same energy soon reached Kanye West's radar, and everything changed. Kanye saw in Travis what few others did: a sonic architect, someone who didn't just make beats, he built universes. Under GOOD Music, Travis started producing, learning, and evolving. His first mixtapes, Owl Pharaoh and Days Before Rodeo, were chaotic masterpieces. Psychedelic bass lines, distorted vocals, and trap rhythms collided into something new, something dangerous. The underground took notice. Critics didn't know how to define it, but fans knew how it felt: wild, hypnotic, unstoppable. Travis Scott wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was chasing sound, and for the first time, the world was starting to listen. By 2015, Travis Scott was no longer an underground secret. He was the future. His debut album Rodeo wasn't just music. It was a universe of sound. Antidote turned into a global anthem, blending hypnotic trap beats with his signature auto-tuned chaos. Critics were divided, but the streets had spoken. Travis Scott was unstoppable. A year later, Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight took him higher. His collaborations with artists like The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar blurred the line between hip-hop, rock, and psychedelia. He wasn't following trends. He was creating them. But his true masterpiece came in 2018. Astroworld, named after a defunct Houston amusement park from his childhood. It was both nostalgic and revolutionary. Tracks like Sicko Mode with Drake and Stargazing defined a new era in rap. Experimental, cinematic, and limitless. Astroworld debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, earned Grammy nominations, and transformed Travis into a global icon. His concerts became spectacles: floating stages, mosh pits, fire, lights, pure madness. Fans didn't attend Travis shows. They survived them. He became the face of modern chaos, a fashion icon with Nike collaborations, a brand powerhouse, a father with Kylie Jenner, and a symbol of cultural dominance. In just a few years, the boy from Houston had built an empire. But behind every empire lies the storm that could destroy it. November 5, 2021, Houston, Texas. Tens of thousands of fans filled the Astroworld Festival grounds. The air was electric. The stage burned with light. Travis Scott, hometown hero, was returning to his kingdom. But what began as celebration turned into horror. As the show intensified, the crowd surged forward. Chaos unfolded. People screamed, bodies fell, and panic rippled through the sea of fans. By the end of the night, 10 lives were lost. The tragedy made headlines worldwide. Videos spread like wildfire. People gasping for air, begging security for help, others pleading for the show to stop. The same energy that once defined Travis's genius now became his curse. The world turned on him overnight. Lawsuits piled up. Sponsors cut ties. Nike paused collaborations. Social media demanded accountability. Travis, once the voice of a generation, was now its villain. In interviews, he appeared broken, confused, haunted, and silent. His apology video only fueled more debate. Was he responsible, or was he the scapegoat for a system that prized spectacle over safety? For the first time in his career, the noise stopped. Travis Scott, the man who built worlds out of chaos, had become trapped inside one of his own. And yet, in the silence that followed, something began to change. The storm hadn't ended. It was shifting. After the storm came silence. And for Travis Scott, silence was something he'd never known. In the wake of Astroworld, he disappeared from the spotlight. No shows, no albums, just questions. Could he ever return? Should he? For nearly 2 years, he worked in the shadows, no longer chasing chaos but meaning. When he finally emerged, it was with Utopia, an album not about escape, but reflection. Gone were the wild anthems of his past. Utopia was darker, denser, almost philosophical. The beats were still thunderous, but beneath them lay guilt, loss, and an artist wrestling with his own legacy. Collaborations with Beyoncé, The Weeknd, and Drake reminded the world of his creative brilliance. But this time, it wasn't about dominance, it was about redemption. Travis also began focusing on fatherhood, art, and fashion. With Kylie Jenner and their children, he found fragments of stability, a different kind of empire. He launched community initiatives, donated to safety programs, and quietly rebuilt his brand piece by piece. He wasn't the same artist who once screamed into the chaos. He'd learned that silence could be just as powerful, if not more. Today, Travis Scott stands as both a legend and a warning, proof that art and chaos can be inseparable. He redefined what hip-hop could sound like, merging genres, bending boundaries, and turning concerts into cinematic experiences. But he also learned that greatness comes with a price, and that the line between creation and destruction can blur in a heartbeat. For his fans, he remains the voice of rebellion, the artist who dared to dream louder than the world around him. For critics, he's a symbol of modern fame, brilliant, flawed, and haunted by consequence. Yet one thing is certain: Travis Scott changed music forever. His sound became a generation's heartbeat, wild, unfiltered, and alive. Because in the end, his story isn't just about fame or failure. It's about transformation. About a man who turned pain into rhythm, guilt into art, and silence into rebirth. Travis Scott's journey is proof that even in chaos, there can be creation, and that the storm, no matter how fierce, always leaves behind something new. This is Stars and Scandals, where every fame has a price, and every story finds its truth. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories.